Yeah, correct.
Yes, sir. Is that cool?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yes, sir.
All right, awesome. Let's see. Now I just here we go. Boom, boom. Inside. And were you mainly in person, or were you was it telesales or a mix?
In person mostly. No final expense.
Okay. Um,
All right. I'm ready for you when you are. So, um,
all right, give me
so
one
first
second.
you want
I'm
to,
going.
okay, go ahead.
I'm going live. All right, let's go. Ready.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think you're already live, by the way. I see it.
Yeah, I just had to just add it to I we're like recording, but then I officially sent it live now. So sweet. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode with Johnny Nitafan. I'm your host, and really trying to give you guys inside tactics and tips on how you can become a number one top producing final expense agent. And we got none other than Shadi. Welcome to the show. Thank you guys so much for coming on here and being willing to pour into me and people watching.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Of course, man. Well, yeah. So just to kind of introduce who Shadi is, very, very high top producer. This is a guy who I've looked up to, especially in the final expense world. Listened to a ton of interviews with him, and wanted to bring him on to interview him myself because he's not only been able to do 1.4 million issued last year, strictly just final expense simplified issue life insurance, but more importantly, how he can help you guys out as well. So, kind of talk us through your journey in the life insurance space. I know that you didn't obviously start there. Talk us through how you got into the final expense space.
So, obviously, I got in with Dan Trinades, and I got into this business, and I started to the at first I mean, I wasn't planning on doing this. I was planning on getting into the restaurant field and start a restaurants.
Yeah,
Then I realized the COVID started, and it wasn't that something that I gonna kind of profit out of. So
yeah,
at this point, I decided to look at different routes, and that's how I connected with Dan. And we decided to, I decided to get into the insurance business, and that's been a blessing since then. I mean, we're doing pretty well now, and we're very happy.
yeah, man. That's awesome. So, so you get into the final expense industry or life insurance space. Talk us through like what your mindset was like coming out the gate because you haven't been in here a long time. Like, how many years have you been doing life insurance?
3 years. The one thing is, I would say, I mean, hard work pays off, right? Um, you either have time or money. And the one thing I would tell you here, but if if you have time, you have no money. If you have money, you have no time.
Yeah,
So in order for you, what you really want to do a little bit better here is make the money, and then stop buying your time back. So right now you have the time, you have no money. Go ahead and work. You gotta work your butt off. And the other thing that I actually realized, being in this business, um, it's the actual. I get a lot of people that they're negative, right? They
yeah,
say, okay, I'm not where I'm gonna be because of my upline, or I'm not selling because of this, or the lead suck, or quit me, and those are just excuses that we
yeah,
actually convincing ourselves off, because we wanna like feel good about ourselves, you
right.
know. So it makes you feel good for you, but yet you're not
Hmm.
producing anything. So
Yeah,
the reality is, if you want to produce on a high level, number one, put all the negativity on the side. Put all the, you're gonna get charged back. You're going to get your, you're gonna have to buy leads. You're gonna have to pay for marketing. You're gonna have to, those are very normal. And if you're not willing to do stuff like that, if you're not willing to take in risks, right, you're never gonna make it in the insurance field.
yeah. So you have to take risks and talk us through your mindset. Like, you going into 2022 was last year, being able to do 1.4 million. Like, was it your goal to hit 1 million, or like talk us through your mindset on that?
So my goal is to hit over a mil, correct. I was competing, and obviously I'm not competing anymore. But in I was competing in the insurance, and with another guys within the IMOs, and yeah, I mean that was my motivation. Now, like I said, I put my time back, and now I get to enjoy life a little bit more. I get to travel a little bit more. I mean, I've been in, a couple of countries this year already, and still
Yeah.
do what I love. In the first year, I would say work really, really hard, make the money you need to make, and then start buying your time back slowly. And that's the one thing that I've done a little bit different.
Yeah. Yeah, we got somebody saying 1.4 million is beast mode. Yeah, so you that's crazy. So I want to go like really tactical here, like for somebody wanting to do that type of volume. Um like how are you able to do it? Like what are some actual things that people can start implementing into their business if they're wanting to hit 100, 150,000 a month just solo producing?
So the one thing I'll do a little difference is putting a lot of efforts, and like when I mentioned buy your time back. So I'm setting an example here. If I set myself up into the IUL, right? Or forget the IUL in general, right? 2 days of field I was dialing to book my appointments, and then 1 day a week that was for chargeback, policy bend, lab spendings and requirement policy has need requirement. Those are the stuff that I was working on. So 3 days I'm out of the field, right? Then of
Wow.
course in between field when I was running appointments, I was doing it 2 hours after 2 hours, hour and a half after hour and a half, just because I was dedicating 15 minute interviews with agents, potential agents that want to be part of the team. That's another
Yeah.
time consuming that I'm taking out of my field. So I started realizing, okay, what can I do to improve that? So a couple of things I've done. I'm making the money, right? Take that some of that money, put it back into the business, such as hire staff, hire somebody who can recruit. This is done and all good to go. Next thing you do is hire, somebody to do, admin, to do all the lab spending policies. So now guess what I just did? I'm running my almost hour after hour because now I don't need to do 15-minute interviews every day, bunch of interviews,
Yeah.
and I actually save myself a day in the field. So right now I don't have to take care of any of the admin stuff. I'm in the field now running more appointments. But running
Yeah.
more appointments are, I have more activities.
Yeah.
Now I got 2 more days here that I'm running, that I'm dialing. That's when I start hiring a dialer. I improve my income. I start making more money doing that, took that money out and hired a dialer. If you're averaging 4 grand in sales per day, you shouldn't have no problem hiring someone to help you with admin stuff, dialing, and all that fun stuff, right? So that's what basically I did. I went, took that out, and I went ahead and started to help with dialing. So right now went fully sales, and my team is getting built, and of course helping my team out and all that fun stuff.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
how I put my time back. And as I did that, slowly I started transitioning to an IUL and learning all the virtual sales, which actually helped out a lot. The thing is, he says I can, he says I can, they both are right. You gotta take the risk and you
Mm,
gotta make it happen and you gotta believe in yourself.
yeah. You guys better get pens and papers out. This is straight gold. He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. So you so talk us through this, right? So you like throughout that time, even when you did have a dialer, were you still dialing out as well?
Yeah, I have. My dollar wasn't as great as they should be, so I was still dining. Otherwise, I would not have the same appointments I usually have with. So I had still to dial, and I had to to work really hard toward changing dialers as I go until I found the right one, right? The certain things is if you're afraid to invest, oh, I don't know if I can afford it. Well, here's the thing. What you're gonna look for is this, right? can it improve your business? So the thing I look at is ROI. So if I'm looking at, I'm selling, let's say 2,000, well, 2,000 annual premium a day, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm doing that 4 days a week. Let's say 5 days a week. Okay,
Yeah. 10
for
grand a
four
week.
days a week, and 2 days a week I'm actually dialing, and then 1 day off, right? Two
Yeah.
days a week I'm actually dialing. So the thing is, if I can hire a dialer and pay my dialer $1,000 a week, and I'm making 2 grand a day of those 2 days, those are $4,000. Can't I? So now, when you actually think you can't afford it, now you have additional 4 grand coming in by doing that. So technically, you're paying your dollar $1,000, so you're still 3 grand. You're making 3 grand. So it's not rocket science, right? It's a business. You're just gonna have to run it as a business. Look at what your investment is, where you want to put your money in. What if you tweak this here, what's gonna happen? Or if I tweak that there, what's gonna happen, right? And you just have to actually figure out what you need to do with it.
Yeah, so so the 2 dialing days, what's your schedule with those? And was it like were you just dialing Monday for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for Friday, Saturday, or
Correct.
okay, and that was all pretty much in person, some virtual sales?
Correct.
Okay.
All in person, and when I did finals, yeah, they all were in person.
Yeah, what were your goals on your dial days?
20 to 25 appointments minimum. If I'm not reaching those goals, guess what's gonna happen? I'm working. So another thing I do a little difference in dialing, I keep the morning off empty. So I don't book anything. Like let's say I'm dialing on Thursday, I'm not booking anything on Friday morning. On Friday morning, I'm actually booking everything from Friday afternoon forward. The reason I do that, if I didn't hit my goals, I'm dialing again on Friday morning.
Hmm. Gotcha. So you don't and same thing as like Tuesday as well?
Same thing with Tuesday.
Gotcha. So you're dialing Monday and then you leave Tuesday morning open and dial for Tuesday, book that all
Depending
up,
on
and then
the
Wednesday as well.
result. If I don't hit my goals, then yes, I'm dialing on Tuesday morning again,
If you do hit your goal, what are you doing then?
running appointments.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
if I'm hitting my goals, that means I have no free time on Tuesday morning. So when I say I'm booking after the noon time, that's only because in case I don't hit the goal, right? I book, let's say, from 12 o'clock forward on Tuesday, then all day on Wednesday. Now let's say I booked all that off. Now I'm starting. What I do is I'm start booking my 11, my 10, my 9, my 8.
Gotcha. So
I'm coming
you
in.
book back, right? So you kind of like fill the all the afternoon up and then go then you pretty much go like you book
Correct.
up
If I
so that
didn't
you
fill
still
the
have that time
afternoon,
if you didn't get it.
exactly. And if I didn't fill my afternoon or the Wednesday, then guess what? I have another half a day to dial to fill all that out.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, did you do any one call closes or just booked appointments all day?
Booked appointments all day.
Wow. Okay. What was your thought process behind that and
I
not
did
just
I
calling to
did one call
close?
close one time. That's about it, and I just got lucky with
Wow.
it. The client was
Why?
like, I don't want anybody coming to my house because of COVID. I was like, well, you need to verify my license, make sure that I'm licensed agent before you give me your social. Like, I have no problem giving my social on the phone. Like, okay, then give it to me. Let's get it done. So it was like that lucky. But that obviously never happened. So it was just like one time thing that happens, which I did it all over the phone. But I
They're
don't do
begging
that.
you to
So.
give they're begging you to let them give their social over the phone. That's hilarious.
Exactly. They did that one time, and I just did it and went along with it. But other than that, I
Yeah,
don't do it over the phone.
so your goal was to pretty much book about 50 appointments a week, 200 a month.
Correct.
So, and then from there, so you say 200 a month, and then what was your show rate on that?
So if I'm booking, I wasn't booking 50. That was my goal. I'm booking between 40 to 50, and my show rate usually used to be when I was in the field about 80, 70%.
Gotcha. So
Um,
you run, so you say you run or you book like 160 and 70% show, maybe that's 120 or something. And then from there, like you're closing a really high percentage then, huh?
another 70.
Wow. And did you master the referral game, or you pretty much just like working leads all day?
I think it is very, very smart to do referral. I never done it, and that's actually a bad idea, by the way. I wouldn't. That's one thing I would actually recommend you doing. Even though I didn't do it, I recommend you doing it. So I don't
Yeah.
do referral much. I started doing referral lately, though. Um, but as of when I was in the field, no, I wasn't doing referral.
Gotcha. Okay. So, okay. So you're pretty much, were you booking every hour on the hour, like 8 to 8, or what'd that look like?
Pretty much, hour after hour, 8 to 8.
Gotcha. And then what was, if somebody no showed you, what were you doing in the free time?
Dial or door knock. I don't knock people. I'm like, hey man, I mean, you don't answer your phone for stranger apparently, don't you? No, okay, perfect. Hey man, I'm a field underwriter. I'm here to help you out with your request for the life insurance request you put online. I have your date of birth here is 1/1/2001. That correct? Like, okay, you got a table we can sit on very quick, man. Let's get this done.
Wow. Okay. So talk us through your presentation, and really overcoming like the big objections. Like, I need to think about it. Were you running a real quick question? Were you running one-legged appointments, or would you just rebook?
I do one leg appointment. I get the spots on the phone. When they tell me, hey, I want to take information, I'll go talk with my wife. I'm like, hey, with all due respect, I just drove an hour and a half to get here. So why don't you get your spouse on the phone? Let's get it done. You verify my license information. Your spouse trusts you, right? Like, yeah, she trusts me. I'm like, okay. So as long as she trusts you, then we can go move forward. If she doesn't trust you, then I can walk away. So
Yeah.
most time they're like, oh yeah, she definitely trusts me. I'm like, okay, so here's my license. Here online. You can verify it online. Now you know I'm licensed in the state of Florida. Let's move forward.
Yeah. And then you just go through with the appointment.
Well, I just need information. What information? You die, it's gonna pay. That's all the information you need. What else you need? Oh, yeah, well, the prices and all them. Like the prices changes based on your health. Right now, I'm giving you a really good rate, $120 a month, which is not bad because only it's less than 5% of your income. Most people like to spend more than about 5%. You're spending less than 5% of your income. That is not bad at all. So
Yeah.
we both know that we can afford it, and we both know you said you love your wife, and she's the most important thing in the world for you. Is that the case still? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Grab me your checkbook. Let's get it done.
It seems really simple. Like, how'd you really like, I'll ask that later. But in terms of the like overcoming, what are the top like few objections that you would get, or an agent would get doing that obviously high volume? And then what's your advice to really like overcome those?
The overcome one more time.
So like, what are the top objections that you would get, and how can somebody overcome those? Like, let's walk through those.
So one thing I would share with everybody is try to when you're doing sales, whatever sales you do, whether it's it's a car sales, insurance sales, whatever it is you're selling, the one thing you have to understand is how to overcome objections all the way up front, right? By asking the right questions. So when I'm building a report with my client, when I'm sitting in front of a client building a report with them, I'm figuring out what their finance is. So you can tell me later you can afford it, right? I'm figuring out if they love their spouse or not. I'm figuring out how important is their kids for them. I'm figuring
Yeah.
out, I'm doing all that intentionally, and I'm not doing that in rudely, but I'm intentionally. I'm like, oh wow, yeah, I have a kid. This is my word, man. How old is your kids? Oh my God, I love your dogs. Oh my, and just build that relationship with the client, right? And later on, all that's ammunition. Actually, I can use it when they tell me, oh, I don't know if I can afford them. Like, you make 5 grand a month. It's $100 a month. What are you talking about, right? So now you can use that as ammunition. Like, oh well, I have other expenses. I'm like, yeah, we all have expenses. But here's the thing: your spouse cannot afford those expenses when you die, right? No, she can't. I'm like, okay, so you can afford $100 a month to make sure that all your assets, such as your property, your home, make sure that your wife living will be the same as where when you are right now. It's important, correct? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So there's no other, I don't think there's other objections here, sir. With besides, all you have to do is grab me your check and let's get things done, right? And I throw that intentionally. Where I had a client with one time. I hope she's not watching this video, but I had a client at this point. She actually, she, I love her to death. She's a wonderful woman. She had, her daughter was in college. And I remember she mentioned something about, oh yeah, I have to put my daughter through college. I don't think I can afford them. Like, ma'am, this is why you need this. Okay, your daughter through college, you pay for her college. Is that correct? I'm like, yeah. Something happens to you, can she afford her college? No. Something happens to you, can she afford this mortgage? No. Something happens to you, can she afford the car payment? No. That means she's gonna be without a car, without a home, and without a college. So at this point, does that make sense to you? I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, no, but ma'am, I see the bill on the table. I see a bill on the table right now with Spectrum. You're paying $170 a month on that. Why is that more important than your daughter? And she got quiet. Like, no, that's like she started mumbling. I'm like, ma'am, why don't we stop BSing each other here? I'm trying to help you out. So why don't we stop BSing each other? Go grab your checkbook. It's $120 a month. If you really want to save money for your daughter college, you cancel your cable bill. There's a lot of other services that are cheaper than that. Not the insurance that's gonna protect your family. And guess what she did? She grabbed the checkbook. So the
Yes.
reality is it's just being real and being direct. A lot of people on, they're watching this call or whatever, they're afraid of being direct with their client. They're afraid of being direct with and challenging the clients out. I mean, the reality is nobody cares for life insurance. Nobody likes it. I mean, it's like, hey, you tell me I'm gonna die one day. I'm like, yeah, of course you're gonna die one day. The reality is we all pay taxes, we all die. The
Yeah.
thing is, you know, it's not a matter of if you're gonna use it, it's a matter of when you're gonna use it. And that's why we're doing this, right?
Hmm.
So people trust me. It's not like when you go as a car salesman and you go to their home, they're getting excited. They're gonna see a new car, right? But they're not gonna get as excited when they hear, oh, there's a life insurance agent coming to my house. What?
Yeah.
What is this guy's doing? You know what I mean? So the reality is they're not gonna be excited with what we do, but yet you're protecting the family. And
Yeah.
what you do at this point is it's up to you. Where you leave that client, a week later they die, you're gonna feel responsible for that.
Yeah, Jacob said being bold but truthful with clients goes a long way, and I completely agree. So, how do you overcome that? I need to think about it beforehand so that they don't have to really so you don't have to overcome it after. Because you brought up a really good point, like killing zombies, being able to really like overcome objections before you get them. That's the best way to overcome objections is never getting them. And that's how
Right.
really shows that you've really dug deep into the why, deep into the need, really dug deep to understand, hey, they're really going after it. They understand, okay, I need this, right? So how do you overcome that? I need to think about it beforehand so you don't get it later.
That's when I dig into their finances and their why, right? So they can tell me when I think about it. You want to think about what? Whether or not to protect your kids? I mean, you just told me you have no protection in place. Why did you have to think about your cable? No. You have to think about your, you know, I don't know, your internet, your cable, your car payment. Why do you drive a Tesla if you can afford $100 a month? You know, so
So what
bringing
if they're
both.
like, okay, I'm not totally sure. Like, I just need to think about the price and if I can really afford it.
Sure. You make 5 grand a month, right, Johnny?
Yeah.
Perfect. So since you make 5 grand a month, $100 a month is less than 5% of your income. How much you paying taxes, man? A lot of money,
Uh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Why is that important? Because they require you to have it. Yet you're not gonna get any of that money back. Why do you pay, $170 on your cable? Is that important as well? Why is
Yeah.
that more important than your kid? No, it's not important. Then why you want to have to think about whether or not to protect your kid, but not to have a cable? It just doesn't make sense. Does that make sense for you, Johnny? It doesn't, right?
No, but I feel like I can save that money and put
You
it
save
like
that money
towards
in the bank
investments.
account, Johnny. Okay, you can put that money in the bank account today and die tomorrow. That you're gonna have $100 in the account. That's it. That's number one. Okay. Number two. Here's the reality. It's not matter if you can use this matter of when. Okay. That's number two. And
Yeah.
number three, you can save that account investment. It's gonna take a long time before it's actually accumulated where you can have access to funds right away when you pass, like what you have over here. It's smart to invest it in an account, but also it's smart to actually have an policy that's gonna protect your family, right? That's four. And Let me give you a fifth point. At this point, I just because I love you, man. I want to help you out here. Okay, you are 48 years old. You haven't put that money in the account yet. Why?
Because I haven't really thought about it.
All right. So now it's time to think about it and get it done. So grab me your checkbook.
So is that your closing line pretty much all the time? Go ahead and grab your checkbook.
Yep. hmm And it actually works.
Yeah. That's beast mode. It's really being direct with the client and not going. So do you like ever like get the like do a second appointment, or are you just like we're getting this done now, and if not
Now
then like
we're getting it done now. I don't do second appointments. Like I said minutes ago, people are not excited to meet you. So
yeah.
your life insurance agent, for God's sake, they don't like you. Even though we're protecting their family, they just don't like you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, so the reality is, you gotta have to know that if you reschedule that appointment, you're not gonna meet the client again.
Yeah.
And I'm a strong believer buyers are liars.
Yeah.
So it's a reality, right? Buyers are liars, and you just have to, kind of, go along the process with them without making them feel that way. But I would always believe in, buyers are liars. They will lie their way out of things. They think that they can get better deal here, better deal there. I'm not like a client like, I got the policy for $20 a month. Like, show it to me. Oh yeah, I don't have it with me. I'm like, so you have a policy, but you don't know where it is. I mean, you're paying $20 a month on that. I'm like, yeah, I'm paying $20 a month on that. I'm like, okay. So I tell you what, and I did that before. It was an accidental policy though. I told there's one of two things, and please, I don't want you to, to feel like this is disrespect. This is more of me being real with you. Okay. You either BSing me, or you either have only an accidental policy, nothing else. Which one is it? Like, oh no, I definitely have a policy, but it's definitely not accidental. I'm like, look, I've been in this field for a while. If you're paying $20 a month, you have an accidental. Oh no, like I'll tell you what, man. I pulled up my checkbook. I'm like, you go grab that policy. If it's a whole life policy like you said it is, for $20 a month, $100,000, I'm gonna give you $500 check right now, and I'm gonna walk out of your house. You'll never hear from me again. But if it's not, you're signing this policy today. The client got so excited, so she went and grabbed the policy. Her and her husband, they came like, here it is. I pulled it up like this accidental right there. So I put my checkbook back at him, like, can you sign right here for me?
Yeah. That's good.
So the
It's
reality
like
is,
having that sense of confidence.
yeah. So people buy off confidence. So you got to have that confidence, knowing what you're doing, right? And knowing what you're doing is, when you're telling the client, you're challenging the clients. You're the professional, right? They're looking at you as somebody who's just trying to take their money. The way I'm bringing it to them is, hey, I'm trying to help you out, right? And the only way I can help you out is by you actually sharing the right information with me. Don't lie to me,
Yeah.
right? And buyers will lie to you. That's a very normal thing, with what we do. But as long as you're doing the right thing and you're helping them out, you're doing well.
Yeah. What do your lead investment look like monthly and weekly?
20 grand a
A
month.
month?
Yeah.
Was that hard to stomach at first, or what like walk us through like your mindset with that?
Well, you can start slowly. A lot of people here, they come in, they're like, oh my God, he's paying a lot of money. I think I can spend this kind of money. Yes, you can. It's a matter of willing, right? All it is start something very small. Start something 500 to 1,000 a week, and then slowly build it up to 2,000 a week. Then slowly build up to 3,000 a week. Now I'm at 5 grand a week. You know, you can do that. It's nothing. Nothing can stop you. The only thing that stops you is you, right? The reality is, and one thing I'm a strong believer of, and I heard that what's his name, Steve Harvey, and he said something. He said that if you have a vision, whether it's a business, whether it's it's a business, a business opportunity, whether it's whatever it is you want to do in life, right? Go for it and stop listening to people. The problem is here we listen to all the negativity around us, all the people they're telling us don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, you're gonna lose money, you're gonna do this. Oh, what if it doesn't work? You're gonna be out of 5 grand or 4 grand. I got that. I got parents told me that. I got family told me that. Brothers told me that. Friends told me that multiple times. The reality is, when I listened to Steve Harvey, he said something. He said that God put that vision in you. He didn't put it in them. That's why they're saying that.
Yeah.
We don't blame them. They don't know what they're talking about. Just follow your vision, and you'll do really well as long as you follow your vision and do it right. And stop
Yeah.
listening to the negativity and the people that tell you, "Oh no, no, it doesn't work." And like,
Mm-hmm.
you're here for a reason. You're watching this video for a
Mm-hmm.
reason. You and I met for a reason. Everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's big being able to do that and still like yeah, that's ridiculous. $1.4 million and just like really like consistently like just having it on autopilot. Hey, 20 grand a month, 20 grand a month. And what like your ROI is probably what 5, 6x, something like that on those.
One more time.
Your like the ROI on that was probably like 5, 6x because you were spending 20 grand and helping 120, 100, 120 families a month.
Yeah.
What was
So
your
we
biggest
do
month?
biggest month 162,
Wow.
162. Yeah. And it goes as low as 50 grand a month. Some months like I was on vacation for a month and a half. So, it really depends. Like I
Yeah.
said, I bought my time now. I'm enjoying a little bit of life, a little bit more, travel a lot. I'm going back home to Jerusalem here well, not next month, but in September. Um, I'm going again, maybe going to Colombia here soon as well. So we're enjoying life, and we're not, it's what's cool thing about this. So,
Yeah, so it's just a season of doing that so you can build up the cash and be able to pretty much live the life you want.
correct.
Yeah. That's good. It's inspiring to be able to hear that. And how do you say like disciplined? Because I think like obviously you probably thought about it. A lot of people want to create the plan. They think about it. Everybody's a millionaire on paper, right? And they're like, oh, if I only do this, but like staying consistent in that, doing that day in and day out, letting the like not letting the emotions get in the way. Like, how are you able to like stay disciplined and stay focused on that day in and day out?
I realized the more you invest into lead, the more money you're gonna make, and that's all I did. Just start investing more money into the business. You know, when you start making money, don't make your first money and go on vacation, please. I mean, you go Hawaii and you spend all that money, and then chargeback kicks in, and now you're in a, you're in a loss. So
Yeah.
the reality is, travel, have fun, but at least make sure the money you make in the first couple months, put it back in your business. You're investing 1,000 on leads, make it 2 grand. The thing is, if you're making 10 grand a month out of $1,000 a week in leads, make $2,000 a week, or let's say 500 a week. Make $1,000 a week. You want to invest $5,000 a week. Now you're looking at 20 grand a month. Because all you're doing is doubling your activities, right? Get good at that. The next thing you do 1,500 a week. Now you're at 30 grand, right? 2 grand a week. Now you have 40 grand a month. And yet, when you look at it, you're making 40 grand a month. You should be able to easily afford 1,500 a week. That shouldn't be a problem on your end, right? Only time it'd be a problem if you're running a lot of bad business and a lot of chargeback that's rolling up to you, then that can be a problem right there. But if you're not doing that, you're doing, clean business, straightforward, honest with clients, obviously you're still going to get charged back 15, 20%, but don't matter. As long as you do that, then you're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how do you like stay disciplined though? Like being able to like even when you get objections, even when you get no shows, even when you get you spend money and you only do 50,000 that month. How'd you keep your mindset right, being able to still do that day in and day out?
So, I mean, my mindset is, I feel like it's mostly just keeping my momentum going. And, the mindset, I mean, you have control over it, not others. And,
Yeah.
and a lot of times, like as a human being, we let other control our mindset, and that's really bad, right?
Yeah.
You let people, point finger in your face and tell you you're not good. And the reality is, I don't care what other people think, right? There's a lot of people out there who, wants to drive fancy cars or drive, whatever. All they care about is what other people think of them.
Yeah.
I personally like to, be be humble and yet work hard toward my goals and show others that it's actually possible. And if I can do it, I feel like as a human being, you can do it too. I mean, you're not a different animal. So you're just a human like me. I mean, you're not missing anything. The reality is you can do this just like I can do it. Just like anybody who watching this can do it as well.
Were there any times throughout last year or when you were on your way to hit 1.4 that you got discouraged?
Oh yeah, a couple of times. But then I had to pick myself back up and be like, you know what? I have a family, I have a wife, I have a kid. I'm not gonna, stand for failure. Fail stands for first attempt in learning. And if you're
Yeah.
every time that I fail, I'm learning something new. So all I do is just move forward and keep this momentum going, trying to, sell more. So like I said, if I got like bad lead patch, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna buy another lead patch. It's not about being lucky. It's not about being, it's about being consistent.
Yeah.
So if you're consistent with what you do, there's some weeks that you're not gonna make money, and there's some weeks you're gonna make a lot of money. It's just gonna average out at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. What kind of leads were you working?
Last year, final expense.
Like what kind?
We have them in our CRM here, final expense, and
Like
there's one
Facebook
month old.
leads, internet
Um,
leads,
I
age
think they're
leads?
Google leads. I'm not sure. I think they're Google leads mostly. I'm buying them just from a lead company, but there a lot of them are Facebook leads as well. But they're definitely, definitely are great. They're just leads. I mean, they all suck at the end. It doesn't matter what kind of lead you run. It doesn't matter on, all they are an opportunity to make money. They're not guaranteed. If anybody here looking for a guaranteed lead, you're in the wrong business.
Yeah. Yeah, that's big. Were you working new leads or age leads?
Both.
So you just had a mix.
Yeah.
And how'd you train? Like, where'd you find your dialer? Was it onshore or offshore?
Offshore.
Okay. And so you like role playing with them and training with them, or how'd that go?
Yeah, they actually was well trained. They've been dining for quite a bit, and yeah, I did give them a couple pointers here and there to get them going as well to make sure that they're actually doing what they should do. But yeah, they did really well for us, so I admire them and I appreciate them a lot.
Yeah. When would you say the right time to hire a dialer would be?
20 grand a month,
When you start hitting 20 grand a month in issued business, or
issued business.
gotcha. Okay. And so for somebody, I know you didn't do a lot. I know you're doing a little bit more. If you go back, would you still do face to face or would you do telesales?
I don't do telesales. I do Zoom, but yeah, same thing face to face. I wouldn't do telesales.
No.
I personally suck at it, and I've been on guide to train people on how to do telesales. But in general, you can do telesales or you can do, um, if you get at telesales, that's amazing. Just don't ask me how I do this because technically I cannot help you
Yeah.
unless I'm good at it. So
Yeah. So you mainly do you do Zoom appointments now, and did you do Zoom appointments then, or was it just mainly face to face in the field?
face to face, Zoom appointments like face to face as well. So
Gotcha. Did you do a lot of Zoom appointments then or no?
yeah.
How do you okay, so let's talk about the lockdown on that, locking down appointments, because I know a lot of people, when I did it especially, but I know that that's a common thing of like getting them to show up. How are you locking that appointment down?
So it's a little bit different. Obviously, I'm locking it down in different route here. I don't show desperate and just buy more leads. At this point, so I'm buying way more leads now. In order for me to actually have X amount of appointments on my calendar. And all I'm looking for is serious people. And then from there, As long as I can find those, I put them on the calendar. So we clarify them before I put them on the calendar. They get an invite the day, the day, like the minute they get the appointment in, they get a reminder the night before, a reminder on the morning of, and 30 minutes before. If they don't show up, I'm blowing up their phones because I earned that right, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's big. Um, for you training new agents, like what's your advice to new agents wanting to be as successful as you, and be able to like live a life that they really wanted to have and do? Obviously, we get into the business for different reasons, but like, what's your advice to new agents coming in wanting to see the level of success that you have?
So one thing I would say, be coachable, be confident, be willing to learn, never say right? It's always about we and what can we do,
Mm.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
And there's all those coaches out there to help you and recruit and help you, getting the next level. Just be humble about everything you do.
Yeah. Be humble, work hard, and as we kind of close out here, you said you transitioned a little bit to the IUL space. What made you kind of transition to that space now?
The um, the opportunity to be able to work from the office and not having to travel. So that's one thing that actually got me into the IUL.
Yeah. Like just working from the office and being able to be virtual?
Correct.
Yeah. That's big. And I'm assuming that you're probably making more money being able to do the same activities, right? Or is it similar?
Um, Same amount of money I'm making. The only thing difference here, my chargeback is less. But it's not much less, but still I'm making the same thing. So technically, whether you're in a life insurance producer or you're doing IUL, whether you're doing final expense, whatever money you're making, it's not going to be any different. Besides, all it is just gives you an advantage to work harder. So it's all matter of what you believe in, right? Personally, if you believe in the final expense route and you want to stick there, I mean, I have agents still in the final expense too, and they're happy. So it really matter on what you believe in. One thing, you have to believe in the product before you can sell it.
Mm.
Like you
Yeah.
can go to a Medicare producer and be like, "Hey, come join our team." Because here's the thing, they believe in residual. They want to stay in the Medicare field. They don't want to be doing big comprates. They just want to
Yeah.
have the residual income. You can convince them otherwise because they believe in what they do, right? And they cannot convince me to join their Medicare business neither because I believe in what I do.
Yeah.
See my point?
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge.
So you just
Being
you
able to
just
do
have
that,
to
it's
believe
super
in what you
different.
do. Yeah. If you don't believe it, you're in the wrong business. Don't come into here just for money. It's not gonna get you anywhere. It will get you somewhere if you're believing yourself and you believe in investing in yourself and you believe in your in your product or in what you do.
Yeah.
A lot of people they come in like, okay, yeah, they see dollar amount. It's just the wrong way to think.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
don't
that's
see it.
huge. Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, again, I appreciate you, man, for coming on here. Where can people find you, reach out to you, and kind of follow you on your journey?
They can always reach me at my email, which is or my phone number. So my email is S as a Sam, G like George, H like Henry, A like Adam, R like Robert, F like Frank, E like Edward, H like Henry, at FFL like Frank Larry Eagles.com, which I send it in. And then also they can reach me on my phone, 370-8737, which they can also reach me on there.
Boom.
And of course, if they do, I'll get them into the with my recruiter Scott, so we can actually get them along and help them out.
Yeah, I'll post that in there and kind of show you guys that. But again, thank you so much for coming on here, man. I really appreciate your time. Really appreciate what you've done for the industry, continuing to do now and leveling up, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end of this. Don't forget to subscribe, share with a friend if you found this valuable, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Appreciate you having me, man.